The moon is gone. All I could see was the sky catching on fire, our atmosphere burning up and fusing with space. Our time has come, and there was no stopping this. It all started with that story in the news. Planetary movement, they called it. They said it hadn't happened since dinosaurs, and yet no one connected it with how they ended up. They said we'd see miracles, pretty lights, breathtaking things. All I see are these monsters, these giants in the sky. The planets started moving, like a big wind was blowing us all aside for something else. You would think the planets hitting us would be our fate, but no. That was the moon's luck. Yes, luck. The bigger planets destroying us would have been a glorious fate. But I can see our fate clearly. The sun is now where the moon once hung in the sky, and it's coming closer. This is also a glorious fate. I just fear that it is too late, you see. When the earth began to move and tilt and whirl, the things that resided in the earth's crust and in the deep ocean trenches and deep in the biggest mountains, well, they were not too happy to be awoken. Ungodly. That is the adjective I prefer to use. It does not come close to what these things looked like. Humans, at first glance, and only then, when you look again, you cannot utter a single word. All you can fathom is the thought of who would make such a creature, not God, maybe not even Satan, much worse than you've ever imagined. Eyes, as yellow as the now growing sun, no hair, skin like weeks old raw meat, left out in the dirtiest sewer, and mangled hands flipped with claws that resemble the blades of a blender. And you freeze in fear, not because of the image of this abomination, but because of the sound that comes out from this monster's throat, like the worst guttural scream of agony. Then another one sounds it out again, and again. It's then you realize they understand each other. They're laughing. This is the fate most of the world has been damned to. All but me. I wonder as I sit here alone, watching our galaxy split from the seams like all the people I knew. I don't know which fate I will endure. The sun is almost here. It's getting hot in the closet I have locked myself in. One hole in the wall is how I confirm the world around me is dying. Not to mention the screams of the people and the laughter of those things. But then I hear them break the door to the outside room, and I hear them laugh and scream. Then I almost cry out. They spoke. In a very unnerving human voice. It's not the voice that makes me wish the sun was near. What this voice says to me. Come out, Sam. It's not so bad. This is when I pass out. I awake in a jolt. It's dark. For a moment, I think they blinded me, but then my eyes adjust to the dark, and I realize I'm still in the closet. I look outside the hole, and I'm terrified at what I see. The sun is moving away now. It missed. By the looks outside, not by much. All the plants are dried up. Not burnt, but dried. I listen for those things. Seconds, minutes, hours, maybe even a whole day. I sat. Nothing. I build up the courage to go outside and search the school I've hid in. Nothing. I venture further out to the town and still find nothing. No life resides in this city. I'm alone. I see the blood trails of the creatures' meals leading to a small forest outside of town. The sight was strange, accounting on how little life there was left on the once exuberant planet. I hear nothing coming from within, and I'm terrified of dying alone, so eventually I decide to walk in to try to find some other form of life, and follow the deer, I hope, trails. I come upon a clearing. It was strange because of two facts. One, I felt like I was directly in the middle of the forest, going from no sense of direction to perfect. Two, all the blood stopped. It just disappeared. I eventually step into the middle of the clearing, looking around. I found nothing. I start to fret about being all alone and watching the earth drift further and further away from any source of light. It's about dusk now. And other endings, when I freeze. I am chilled to the core of my bones. I now know what my fate will be. Sam, you've stopped hiding. We saved our best for you. It's not so bad. I start to run, but... Thank you, Linda. In other news, an 18-year-old boy has died after awakening out of a 48-hour coma today. Doctors report that he awoke screaming and for 16 minutes, all he could say was, "It's not so bad," before going into cardiac arrest and eventually dying. More on this as it develops. Now moving on to a new subject. Scientists discover a new event that they are calling planetary movement. More at 11.